Now, I'd like to introduce David Long, this year's NAILBA chairman. David?
Good morning. Welcome to NAILBA 34. It's that special time of year when the largest gathering of distributors, carriers, and vendors of life, health, and annuity products come together to network with, market to, and learn about and celebrate our industry. Now, it's been an honor to be your chairman this last year. For those of you that know me well, I can imagine seeing me up here as chairman might make you think it's, maybe time to freshen up the resume, maybe call your uncle that owns the car dealership, see if he has any openings. But I can assure you, NAILBA is bigger than any one person, and a long line of exceptionally qualified leaders stands ready to ably lead us into the future. Once again this year, the breakneck pace of change in our industry has kept NAILBA on its collective toes, and we have risen to the challenge. We are now a year deep into our 3-year strategic plan and have made some significant strides toward helping our membership's continued success. The NAILBA network is up and running. Hopefully by now, everybody has had a chance to review the daily digest email that comes right to your inbox. This is an interactive forum where members can weigh in on a variety of topics. I don't expect people to share proprietary secrets. In fact, that's probably not even legal, but the input has already been valuable. Staff management, government advocacy, technology, and carrier issues are just some of the areas that have already been discussed. This is a significant development toward improving our ability to learn from our best resource, each other. I encourage you to not only read along, but contribute your expertise. Stop by the NAILBA booth to learn more about this members-only forum from a member of the staff, or ask anyone with a NAILBA Network ribbon what it's all about. In the early days of NAILBA, members were pretty much on their own for their technology needs. The Technology Committee was our largest committee, and the spring focus meeting was essentially all about related topics to technology. Members had to figure out how to get things done without the benefit of vendors that are now in this space. As this part of our business has matured, these tasks are primarily handled by companies in the technology business. This has had a positive impact on innovation and our ability to respond to advances. This change also morphed the NAILBA Technology Committee into the Independent Life Brokerage Technology Committee, or the LBTC. Now it's time to strengthen and optimize the working relationship between NAILBA members and the LBTC. We have formed a board subcommittee to accomplish this task. Their job is to identify key issues our members have with technology, develop recommendations based on these issues, and work with the LBTC to help shape future action plans. This will be an ongoing process, and it will really benefit all those involved with technology to focus their efforts on the most current needs. The LBTC presented the results of their annual technology survey at their face-to-face meeting yesterday, and it looks like another year of continued innovation. I encourage those with an interest in technology to get involved with the LBTC. And those that don't speak tech, lean on the NAILBA subcommittee, and they'll translate it to techies and get the items to the Life Brokerage Technology Committee for you. Based on our surveying of the membership, face-to-face educational opportunities are a high priority. However, we've proven time and again that we're all too busy to get together more than once a year. It's just the way it is, so we planned accordingly. For one thing, that means cranking up the value of the time we have together here this week. The Professional Development Committee, or PDC, has put together breakout sessions tailored directly to the feedback we've got from you. This includes digital marketing, cracking the code to marketing to Gen Y, the future of long-term care, and the latest underwriting trends, and marketing to an increasingly multicultural marketplace. In order to keep the message fresh and share it with your staff back at the agency, and for those that couldn't be here, we'll repurpose select content from NAILBA 34 in the form of webinars for later viewing. NAILBA staff and the PDC are also developing new content webinars that will be conducted throughout this year. Look to NAILBA now for announcements of these future educational opportunities. We've also updated NAILBA's board and committee structure to help us respond to the rapid changes of our industry. We'll talk more about that later during the business meeting. The opportunity for collaboration with our sister organizations is as big as ever. The current set of challenges facing our industry impact every corner of our business. With these circumstances, strategizing and planning with other industry associations has reached a fever pitch. Legislation and regulations that threaten to weaken the long-term financial security of Americans, as well as our ability to provide that protection, are as prevalent as ever. Last year, we announced our new advocacy strategy that includes a joint venture with the Association for Advanced Life Underwriting, AALU. This partnership is off to a great start. The current AALU president, Mark Murphy, and I will sit down later to discuss what we've accomplished so far and where we're headed. NAILBA's longtime industry partner, Life Happens, formerly known as the Life Foundation, continues its work with Life Insurance Awareness Month, Disability Insurance Awareness Month, and other consumer programs. They've also developed a game-changing program for advisors called Life Happens Pro. Stay tuned for more details about this program during tomorrow's general session. The majority of our members not only belong to NAIFA, but many hold leadership roles at local, state, and national levels. Each year at NAIFA's annual conference, NAILBA sponsors the Independent Advisors Networking Reception, where we encourage the advisors in attendance to make sure they do their production through a NAILBA member agency. The independent producer segment of NAIFA's membership is the fastest growing group in the association, up over 30% this last year. So it stands to reason that our two organizations look for more opportunities to partner, share, and help our industry with common interests and goals. We're in the planning stages of an exciting future partnership. Watch for announcements on progress toward that endeavor. I'm also happy to welcome this year's meeting our guests from AALU, GAMA, NAIFA, LIDMA, SFSP, NAFA, MDRT, and WIFS, and of course Life Happens. Be sure to look for their badges or stop by their booths and thank them for their support this year. One of the greatest challenges facing our industry today is the aging and shrinking sales force of the products we distribute. There's one segment of our business that has already made great strides in securing its own future, NAILBA member agencies. The Agency Successor Networking Group, ASNG, represents the next generation of agency leaders. This well-established group has over 30 members, including myself, none of whom founded their agencies, but are either already or will soon take over the reins of their shops. The group has monthly teleconferences on hand-picked topics ranging from marketing with social media to how to get the most out of attending the NAILBA annual meeting. We also do a special face-to-face session at this meeting every year, and many of our speakers are fellow NAILBA members who generously give their time and expertise in helping the next generation of leaders grow into the future of our industry. These are the leaders who will rise to the challenge of bringing young professionals into our business, and many of those solutions may very well be derived during brainstorming sessions of the ASNG. If this sounds like a group you should be in, swing by the NAILBA booth and find out about how to join. Speaking of multi-generational shops, one of the first people my father introduced me to at my first NAILBA meeting was the late Colonel J. William Felton III from Tennessee Brokerage. Colonel Felton spearheaded the founding of the NAILBA Charitable Foundation back in 2002. Since then, the foundation has helped dozens of worthy organizations who focus on helping children in need. Perhaps the greatest honor I had in my volunteer duties on this board was participating in the selection of the grant recipients 2 years ago. It was a very moving experience. At tomorrow's general session, we'll learn more about this year's winners. Please continue to support the foundation in its worthy cause and join us for the annual raffle at the closing reception tomorrow afternoon. My first NAILBA meeting was back in 1999. I had just joined the agency after a few years of personal production. A couple months prior, our agency had just affiliated with CPS, and I still remember seeing this NAILBA logo on everything we received from CPS headquarters. I still remember asking my dad, what's this NAILBA deal anyway? It turns out the leader of CPS, and now one of my mentors, Peter Holden, was a past chairman and ardent supporter of the organization. Up to that point, I just knew it was where my mom won me that Cleveland sandwich that I still carry in the bag and unfortunately use it far too often. So there I was, NAILBA, 18, at the Century Towers in Los Angeles, walking through this amazing exhibit hall when my father introduced me to Kevin Mers. He was a board member at the time and from another second-generation agency. And the first thing my dad did was volunteer me to NAILBA. He asked Kevin how to get me involved. A couple years later, Kevin gave me a call and asked me to be an exhibit hall volunteer. This entailed walking one of the aisles in the exhibit hall to make sure the exhibitors had everything they needed, and the odyssey began. Next, I got a call from Jim McGill, board liaison to what was then the Education Committee. I joined that committee where we created NAILBA University under the leadership of Elise Bloomberg, which is now a third-generation shop. Then Lori Prevette called about the Communications Committee. I explained I was already on the Education Committee. She didn't care. See you at the meeting. Then you start getting a reputation as that guy that can't say no. So my last committee post was chairing the membership committee, where we grappled with the changing landscape of what our membership looked like, where we tweaked the criteria for years until we came to what we have today. Then fully invested as part of the fabric of NAILBA, it came full circle when I again got a call from Kevin Mers, who asked if I would join the NAILBA board. I didn't need the power to say no on that call. I was and am still honored to be part of the leadership of this esteemed organization. My point is that your association is only as good as you make it. Get involved. There's light duty all the way up to some heavy lifting. The more of the great minds in this room right now that are involved, the better we can be as an association, and in turn, the better your agency can be. Again, swing by the NAILBA booth or talk to a board or committee member if you're interested in volunteering at NAILBA. NAILBA has accomplished a great deal this year, and there are many to thank for all that success. First, I'd like to thank Jack Chason and our entire staff. This organization runs like a well-oiled machine, and that is a direct reflection of the work Jack and his entire team does all year long. Truly solid at every position, and NAILBA is thankful for each of you. I was also fortunate to have an executive committee and board made up of some of the best minds in the industry. There's something comforting about looking around the table at board meetings knowing I was the only weak link in the chain. Hey, you guys don't have to nod up there. Special thanks to Ray Phillips and Barbara Crowley for their mentorship since I came on the executive committee. Your guidance was invaluable. Thank you to Chip Van Duzen and Jim Sorbo, who will follow me as the next two chairmen. These gentlemen will take NAILBA to new heights and have already begun much of the work to get us there. Chip will talk more about what's coming in tomorrow's general session, some great opportunities for us all. The board was made up of a combination of veterans and young leaders, and I just have to say the future looks bright as we move towards tomorrow's NAILBA and agencies. Thank you to you all for your dedication this past year. Nothing would be possible without our committee members and volunteers. Almost everything NAILBA does has a committee behind it. These are members, carrier representatives, and vendor representatives volunteering their valuable time to improve your experience at NAILBA. Thank you very much for your contributions. And of course, our carrier partners and vendors, whose presence makes the value and experience of this event first class year after year. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you. Now to thank those who had to pick up the slack while I focused on NAILBA. Seated up here in the front row are my parents, Larry and Susan Long. Between covering my desk and helping out with my boys, they've logged more NAILBA hours than I have. Not only did they build the very agency that makes me a NAILBA member, their guidance, encouragement, and support are truly the foundation of everything that I do. Plus, they just flew 3,000 miles with my kids yesterday so they wouldn't miss an extra day of school, so they should probably get a medal. I also have to thank my dad for playing the role of straight man in pretty much every column I wrote this year for Perspectives. Although, after listening to him use the same lines for the last 45 years, I think we're maybe even at this point. Not in attendance today is the brains behind the operation, my sister Cheryl Long. We all remember Mike Maddox's talk about the idea monkey and the ringleader. My sister has two monkeys to deal with, and she keeps the ring intact. Nobody had to do more of my work while I traveled around the country than Cheryl. I don't know how she does it, but I'm glad we're on the same team. Sorry she couldn't be here this week, but she's minding the shop and taking care of the dogs. Thank you very much, Cheryl. And of course, the reason why I show up to the office every day, my two boys, Max and Zach. This is their first time east of the Rockies. Apparently there's an amusement park around here that they're ready to go to. I'm very proud of my guys. Max is 12, almost 13. He's got his bar mitzvah coming up this January. And Zach is 9, just got his blue belt in karate last week. They both play multiple instruments, including drums. And yes, there are times when we've had 3 drum sets playing at the same time. Don't you wish you had lived in my neighborhood? Thanks, guys, for putting up with all the travel, and thanks for being here with me this week. I've been told before that the NAILBA meeting is just a big party, to which I replied, thank you. But apparently it wasn't necessarily a compliment. I suppose informal networking would be a better name for it. When it's during the day, whether it's at a session like this, a breakout, exhibit hall time, or even in the hallway, everybody in this room works hard all day during this meeting. We're still working hard at night, it's just set to music with an open bar. Seriously though, relationships are what we do. If this meeting looks like a party to the outside observer, I say, mission accomplished. Catch up with old friends. Make some new ones. Have some fun. That's how we grow. That's how NAILBA was created. Make the most of these 2 days, and if you're anything like me, it could be the most valuable 2 days of your agency's year. Thank you for your time and for the privilege to chair this great organization.